and just hear it out. He said Diddy might have been ass and been really abusive. Like, from the Kim Porter thing, people are now saying that there is a history of abuse when it comes to Diddy. So the putting hands on her, all that type of stuff, that's probably was true, right? However, he was saying he wasn't gonna instantly jump on the belief of the freak off shit that she wasn't with it. Because he's saying which person is, again, it's not like she's tied and locked in a dungeon. Who willingly does a freak off for 12 years? Even if you're saying it's under duress, who does a freak off for 12 years with a nigga only after the 12 years to say, oh, you weren't down with the freak offs? So basically she's saying, hey, basically what he's saying, and you're going to hear what he says. The kinky, freaky, sexy stuff or sex stuff, she was down with it. Obviously she wasn't down with her getting her ass beat. Let's see if we could extract that. You guys let me react to this. Okay, I want to hear you guys react.
The liquor already is kind of like what it is. The minute those ads start being pulled, what happens with Revolt, right? And him being sitting in that seat will force, all it takes is that major ad to pull out and they go public and say, we have, pulled out our ad campaign with Revolt, and then somebody like No Jumper reports that company has pulled out, it's over with. So he did the best thing he should have. He should have did that initially. A lot of things he should have did. He should have just took care of Cassie and when she asked for it. And he should have been, at the time that Cassie happened, he should have stepped down then.
Okay, he's about to get to it.
He tried to save himself by settling the suit right away, right?
Yeah, but he's cold feet about the driver. So me and you make a decision that we got to get rid of the driver, right?
Okay.
Years go by. It was me, you, and the driver.
Okay, great. He's making a good point here, Chad. Just listen.
See, she extorted him.
That's
a very big accusation. Wack claims the way Cassie went about this was extortion. Listen to this.
You're comfortable calling it extortion based on what?
I'm gonna tell you why. Adam, if me and you went on a robbery, it was me, you, and the driver, right?
Right.
And in the commission, no, we can't say that because what I'm about to say, my homie.
He looks like a good driver right
now.
No.
In the commission of the robbery, we leave and we start to get like cold feet about the driver. So me and you make a decision that we got to get rid of the driver, right?
Okay.
Years go by. Yeah, Adam, I need $1 million before I start talking about that robbery. You know what happened that night? And I stop. Now, the world hears robbery. But you know what happened that night, it's a shallow grave somewhere, right?
Now, what Wack is saying makes a lot of sense if you think about it. It's a little bit, it's layered. He's saying, and I know I'm recapping what he said, you and the guy go to do a robbery. Remember, the story is the robbery. But you have a driver. Y'all think the driver might be a snitch. Maybe he's not about that life. This and third. You're like, damn, we got to tie up a loose end. Let's kill the driver too. The driver gets killed during the robbery. Y'all bury him somewhere. Y'all go y'all separate ways. Robbery complete. Years down the line, somebody comes up and says, yo, give me $1 million. You're like, I ain't even know $1 million. So, all right, well, shit, you're kind of popular. I'm going to tell everybody about the robbery. Now, of course, the public is going to be like, what? So-and-so used to be doing a robbery, but in your back of your mind, the real story ain't the robbery. The real story is that y'all killed the driver, and the driver is buried down the road. And I guess he's saying that Cassie didn't put out anything real in that lawsuit, but she put enough that she could get the money to get out of there. Here we go.
With the driver in it.
Okay.
I need $1 million. Right? Now, let's fast forward to what Cassie did. Yes, he would have me go get the male prostitutes, and he would strip naked and masturbate while filming us. She stopped.
True.
You know what Puffy knows? And after I got done with the male prostitute, then he would join in and I would grab the camera and film them, right? She put enough out there to let him know, I'm not playing, I'm about to tell it all.
So you think that he was getting it in with these dudes too?
I think Puffy did nothing wrong when it comes to their sexual acts. If she was with it, he paid to keep the embarrassment from coming out.
Do you think he's that embarrassed about fucking with dudes?
Puffy has a fucking ego. He has children.
Yeah.
Understand what I'm saying? I don't think it's just about him. And I think, remember, a person's gonna fire the smaller gun first. Can you only imagine the other things that she would have began to talk about?
Because when that case came out, that's what I was telling Lena. I'm like, just imagine
I
what
said
they're
he
going
gonna
to put
settle in
out.
24 hours.
I'm like, what are they going to put out about him next week? What are they going to put out the week after that? Because you know that they're not giving you everything all at once, even though it's a suit. You know they got all kinds of shit ready to go. This is not like a one and done.
I think Wack made a lot of sense here, and I don't think people thought about it like that. Basically to say, and I actually now believe this. I believe Cassie threw herself on the sword to save Diddy's reputation, but I think she was smart enough to know Diddy would have to pay her, and even though she wouldn't get to tell the full story, the mere fact that she went public, because all the dominoes are falling now, every other woman who ever dealt with him and experienced anything of the sort was going to come forward. So if you're talking about justice for Cassie, we keep seeing allegations come up, right? But do I believe Wack in what he's saying about she ain't come out with the whole joint and she basically teased it? Yeah, kind of. Here we go.
Puffy, whatever he was doing with her sexually, that was consensual. But the things that were probably going on were probably bringing embarrassment to him and his family.
So, I mean, like, you don't believe that she was really, like, getting mentally tortured by him for all those years? Because that's kind of what she was saying.
You know, I believe that it's been 5 years. Let's get it. You know, I'm tired of no disrespect. You got caught fucking the trainer that Puffy was paying for. So let's not paint her as a fucking angel.
That's how they fell out?
He's the one who reminded me of that. He's the one who reminded me of that.
This is a fact.
Maybe that was her just trying to find a way out.
She have 2 kids. She's sitting back and she's watching Young Miami getting assistance from Puff with her career, which is something she was looking to happen.
While he impregnates other women.
Right. Puff always had an understanding with his female that it just ain't me and you. Even with Young Miami, I don't think it's just those 2 things. She plays her position.
Yeah, he's been pretty clear about that.
Whatever that may be, right? Young Miami, she's pretty strong. Will she gonna accept what she gonna accept? And that's
Aisha Kenya, by the way, thank you for that comment. And trust me, I'm reading everything you guys are saying. You're saying there's no proof she cheated. Okay, that's a valid point. I'm gonna have to look into that a little bit more. But let's just be logical, and I'll ask you this question because I know as a man how I would think, right? If I hired a nigga to be around my girl, and I don't care if she didn't cheat, if we broke up and she got with that nigga that I hired for her, which means she only met him because I hired that nigga, I'm gonna think some spooky shit was up. I don't give a fuck what she says. As a man, I think that's very feasible. If I introduced you to, like, it's like your girl cheating on you. If you introduce your girl to the dude she ends up fucking, you feel probably 50 times worse because you feel like you brought the nigga to the table that she could fuck. Do you get what I'm saying?
That's what it is, right? But I think you know exactly what was going on when it comes to the sexual activities 14, 15 years. That's like your wife 15 years from now saying, I didn't want to. I did it because you made me feel like I had to.
Right.
And you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's a little different with you because your shit's televised.
And she got me into porn.
Okay, by the way, I'm reading Aisha, by the way, thank you for your comment, by the way, and I want everybody to, we got to be very welcoming and nice to our chat queens because they're continuing these conversations. These conversations we can't have just in an echo chamber of men. We actually do need women opinions and voices to really debate with, right? Aisha says, yo, Ak, what everyone's forgetting is that Cassie was an employee, and she sued not only Diddy, but his companies that have shareholders. Think about this from a legal standpoint. Okay, so you're making that point that I think we already debunked. Okay. Yes, she was an employee, right? But as I said, these companies did not settle. The only person, if you ask me, this is, again, I'm not no professional, but I'm just a guy with common sense. It sounds good. Of course, you're going to sue these other companies. Put it like this, right? I went to watch Ice Spice perform, and she was an opener for Doja Cat. It was at the Prudential Center. Okay? I go in there, and let's say, God forbid, Freddie Gibbs and 15 of his goons was there, right? They all jumped on me, beat the brakes off of me, and shit. In the process, like, I got a punctured lung. The lawsuit that I'm gonna file, I'm suing Doja Cat, Ice Spice, Prudential Center, Live Nation, Freddie Gibbs, everybody getting sued. So I know y'all are kind of like focusing on this whole Cassie thing and saying, oh, she's not just suing under, like, that's what I think is false. She's not suing under under employment law. That's not what her lawsuit is solely based on. She is suing companies, but she's suing because, and if you read the allegations in her lawsuit, it's not saying, hey, I wasn't an employee and my employer was stepping out of bounds. That was not how it was even alleged. It was saying, hey, I was in a relationship that was coerced. Yes, there might have been a power dynamic, which was work, but the big thing is that this person took advantage of me, R-worded me, beat my ass, and these other things. Like, I don't know why I keep mentioning work. If she was talking about just employment, her lawsuit would have been primarily based on talking about employment. Second of all, here's another thing about this whole employment thing that people don't want to even acknowledge, right? So, as an artist, let me ask y'all a question. Do you think NBA YoungBoy is an employee of, and this is where we get on this little weird thing where Sharp was trying to think he won a wager against me. Do you think NBA YoungBoy is an employee of Capitol Records? Now, I would say the answer to that is very tricky. Like, these aren't people that report to HR. Like, if you're a 1099 worker, you are a contracted person. You're not a person reporting to HR. You're not a person adhering to, like, you know what I mean, these HR rules about, like, sexual assault and, like, you know what I mean, workplace harassment. These are a bunch of rappers, my nigga, and, like, you're signing people. So if you think that, put it like this. If everybody's claiming that Cassie's just suing over employment law, bro, every rapper would sue and get a check settled by an insurance company because of that. Lil Pump, he was 16 years old, got signed to a major label. They had drugs around him. They put him in dangerous situation. You think if he had asked one of the workers at the time at Warner, hey, I want to get a pint of, I don't know, Wack or whatever the fuck is that lean? I don't know. Give me some lean or give me some liquor. He's underage. They'll do it. You don't think they'll do it? They'll do it. Why don't he sue then? If it's that lucrative, because we're all believing that Cassie got the bag, but everybody's now claiming it's employment law, or employment is because she was an employee why she got the check. Bro, everybody would sue these fucking companies. Do you know what I'm trying to say? The point is this: Diddy paid, okay? That nigga knew he was fucked. He paid up, and now it's in a situation where once you open a rabbit hole, everybody else wants payment. And he's saying, fuck out of here. I'm done paying. Then I ask y'all, Insurance companies don't know nothing about nothing. If they're gonna sell a Cassie shit, why they ain't sell the other two? And if they sell the one, why not? There's one that jumped out today. Why not sell this one too? Again, stop thinking that insurance paid for Diddy. Diddy cut the fucking check. You literally heard Cassie's lawyer. We were asking this nigga for money for 5 months. They're not talking and bartering with his insurance company. They're talking to him. Now, perhaps maybe there's an insurance play in place to possibly pay these other people who ain't get settled. But for a settlement in 24 hours, Diddy paid, bro. Stop it. Anyway, I'm going to play like 2 more minutes of this and then we'll get back to the new thing, which is the allegation about Diddy.
For the record, she already had porn star dreams when I met her.
Listen, but if she was to come out and do that, right, they would scrutinize you. Right, the only difference between you and Puff,
and all she got to do is say it.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter that it makes no sense, and that every single person who was around would say, "Nah, that's not how it happened." Yeah,
30% of the world is going to believe it, regardless of what you say.
Probably more than that,
right?
Yeah.
But I think with you, all the other shit ain't going on. You know, Puff them. You know, it's a lot of rumors out there that, you know, it's a lot of other shit going on. Who knows where the story would have led to?
So when you were saying party on that Akademiks interview, were you talking about
that type
gay
of
shit, or were you more talking about just weird, freaky shit?
All of it in general, because when he says party, the way he's saying it, like he said it to Fabulous, it leads us as heterosexual men to say, Fabulous just said, nah, we partied together. We was at Live. Shout out to Headliner Mike. And he's like, nah, Playboy, me and you, a party. So that's why I'm like, Puff, please go online and define what a party is. Because now it's sounding like you want to get up close and personal, or a little too personal with that individual. And now we're hearing Cassie, right? Him ask.
Okay, so we kind of got like the gist of that, right? Now, before we get into this news story, we should point out a few things that's happening. Diddy's in turmoil. Diageo, the liquor company, that they have, give me 1 second, I'm going to bring it up. They have since cut ties with Diddy, with Ciroc. So if you buy Ciroc anymore, which I don't know how them ending their relationship,